Hi guys, Rose here with the Cackling Moon. This is going to be a client's spirit guide reading. So for the reading, we're going to be looking at, am I on the right path spiritually, or do I need to reevaluate? So we're going to kind of look into what are your guides saying about your path. So for the reading, I'm going to be reading with the Rider-Waite Tarot. I have the Gaia Oracle, the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot, and I'm going to be using the Mystical Shaman Oracle for that spiritual insight. So I'm just going to kind of shuffle and just connect for you. I hope this isn't too bright. I'm having like trouble today with like finding the best lighting. This room is this room isn't the best with lighting sometimes. Okay. I like to pull in threes. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Let me, actually that might be light enough though. Okay. Now that I have cards on the table, it's like not as bright. Okay, my love. So let's talk about the fact that the first card that I pulled for you is the completion card. And this is telling me, spiritually wise, your guides are saying you have completed a journey. That is why you might be feeling like you have to reevaluate your spirituality, because you completed something. When you completed something, now you have to go through the process of what's next, right? So you've probably already been asking yourself that with the completion card. What is next? What is next on my on the agenda for my spirituality? So because I've been using the guidebook, let's pull this out. Okay. Number 9. Okay. You have finished a cycle and there's no more growth or benefit from hanging on to the old. In regards to relationships, it's time to honor what has been and find a new form for the future. In your ventures, it is time to reap your harvest. Completion is a time for celebration. It is the end of summer when the fruit is ripe. Okay? Clinging to the old will bring only decay. I had to read that last bit because that is so true. When you cling to the old, you are going to only be going through the experience of what is old, right? You're not going to be growing and developing because you're only going to be reliving an experience that you already had. So because of the completion card coming up, your spirit guides want you to start something new. You learn what you learned in the process, but you no longer stay in this cycle. It's like you have to break free now. And the next card that I pulled is going to tell you that. So we have the owl. And to me, intuitively, right off the bat, the owl is all about knowledge. The owl is all about your ability to learn something new. And so I feel like what your next step spiritually is supposed to be is to start a new, a craft or a new study, okay? Bringing in new knowledge with the owl card. But just for kicks, let's see what the guidebook says, just for your benefit. So we have the owl. Look around you. Whoops. Look around you, notice every detail, and find the hidden messages brought to you by owl. Do not shoot the messenger. Be grateful to the friend who shows you what you have not wanted to see until now. Observe all facets of the diamond without judgment. Remember that the facets you dislike are often mirrors of the parts of you that you do not want to recognize. Do not be afraid of the truth, as it will become your compass. So these are fears. These are things that maybe you don't want to have to acknowledge, or things that you don't want to see about yourself, that maybe now that you've completed this part of your journey, maybe now you're mentally ready to take on some new stuff. Okay? Owl guards against self-deception and insists that your motives be pure and transparent to all. What is the message that you are not hearing? The situation you are not seeing clarity. Owl invites you to wait patiently. Bide your time until it is right to act. Then do so decisively with no hesitation or remorse. So the owl here has a different message from what I was getting intuitively. I do feel like your next step is obtaining a new study. I feel like maybe now you're going to have the power and the tools. Now that you've completed one spiritual journey, you're going to have the tools to go on to the next, okay? And it might be battling some fears that you have. And then we have the Earth Keeper, which I feel like this is going to identify kind of what that next thing is. So Earth Keeper, I don't know. I feel like to me, this is witchery kind of stuff. That's the vibe I'm getting from that. But let's see what the guidebook says. I'm curious. You have outgrown your small dream of success and achievement and are ready to dream big with possibilities beyond your wildest expectations. Take on the mantle of the Earth Keeper and reach out to a friend in need who you may not been in touch with for some time. Take care of your pets and feed the strays that come by. Clean up your yard, as this is a reflection of your relationship to the earth. Grow the sacred dream and your personal life will flourish. Remember, it's not about me any longer. This is like taking care of other people, other things, other situations and other projects around you in the home life. As you care for your body, you show your care for Mother Earth. So begin with the stewardship of your health. What are you putting in your mouth? Are you feeding on foods and thoughts that are no good for you? Start doing what you know will be good for you today. This is a healthcare. This is a healthcare card. This is taking into action, being in a healthier lifestyle. So this could be eating different foods, working out, getting some sort of a routine, a physical routine. So perhaps this next journey is the journey into cooking, the journey into, living a better, healthier lifestyle for yourself. It doesn't sound spiritual, but everything in a sense is spiritual if you just put that spiritual flavor to it. You know what I mean? And perhaps that's what the journey already is that you're doing spiritually. Maybe you're already, my cards are flying everywhere. Maybe you're already taking part in a healthy lifestyle change, okay? Maybe you're already, taking better care of your body and whatnot. But I feel like this next phase of your journey is taking on a study, something that you've never done before. Something that interests you, and that maybe you want to perfect or grow and learn more of. That's what I feel like you need to do. The Queen of Swords, the Two of Cups, and the Seven of Wands came up. And when it comes to relationships, partnerships, this Queen of Swords kind of makes me think of, is this a female friend? Did you lose touch with a female friend in the past? Maybe your spiritual journey is advancing and now you're seeing things in a different way. Or is there somebody that you want to take on mentorship with? Because that Two of Cups doesn't feel romantic to me. It actually feels like taking on a mentorship with a female. Some sort of a female who says and does things that it's like maybe you want to learn more about. Have you been wanting to? That could actually be what that owl card is talking about. Because to me, I feel owl is knowledge. Not so much the guidebook definition. To me, my intuition is telling me you need to take on a new study. And maybe this Queen of Cups, this Queen of Swords, as a teacher, she's a communicator. Maybe there is somebody that you've been wanting to learn a trade of. And maybe this person holds online classes or an actual physical class. And maybe you've been wanting to or curious to do that. And I encourage you to do so. Like I said, this Two of Cups makes me feel like it's a learning, like a new friendship that can grow or a mentor-student relationship, okay? And then the Seven of Wands popping up. I feel like it's like symbolically the X. It's almost like other people are putting blocks on you, but you're standing alone and you're saying, no, I could do this. You are going outside of the grain. You are sticking out from the crowd. You follow a path that not everybody is following. So I feel like the Seven of Wands is kind of saying this next step in your spiritual journey, solo for sure, but I feel like it's a student-mentor relationship that is something that you may want to think about diving into further. So if there is an online class, and I say online because most of the time it's online, but if there is a class or something you want to learn about, read, buy a book on it, or take a class, I think you should do it. I think that that's another way to take your spiritual journey, and I think you're going to benefit from it. We have yin and yang, creating harmony through balance. I love it. So creating harmony through balance. This is balance with yourself, your energy, okay? Your chakras, all of that. Making sure that everything is balanced within you, especially during this new spiritual journey. You may not have focused on a lot on being being balanced energetically, okay? Maybe you've been like all over the place, or you're only used to putting so much attention on certain things. But I feel like that's what this card is saying. Ooh, we have Ganesh, clearing away obstacles, protection, and guidance. Ganesh can actually be a divine guide coming through for you. I also feel called to say that. So if you're not, familiar, look her up. I think that this is going to be really helpful. Clearing away obstacles, protection, and guidance. The obstacle card is the same as like with that Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is often the card of obstacles. And it's like people may judge you for a decision you make or a path that you take, but you stand alone. You can do it. So you may have that. Maybe you have people who place judgment on you for the decisions that you make with your path. Don't pay them any mind. Sometimes people are just jealous. Sometimes people are just jealous and they just have to, complain about something. Lost love, surrender, healing, and release. Lost love, that could be, the healing and release of past pains. Okay. So, in this new trade, in this new light that you embrace, maybe that is also what the Two of Cups is. Maybe there is a lost love there, an ex. And maybe you're going to be going through the process of forgiveness. So that Two of Cups can also reflect that too. But being able to forgive a past situation and to grow from it, to come out of it. Does that make sense? So I feel like that's kind of like what's in the mix, like what's going to be coming up for you in terms of your spiritual journey. Let's see. Let's just see if there's any other spiritual advice. Now, I gotta say, when when I'm like tuning into you, I see so many birds. Now, I feel like there's like one of your main guides is like an eagle. I'm assuming it's an eagle, but it's like all I see is this. I just see him floating off to the top. I feel like he just hovers over you, and it's a male. I feel like he hovers over you. He's almost like your eagle eye. He's like your second eye. Okay. To be honest, I feel like he's overlooking the floor, the path that you take before you walk on it. Does that make sense? He's like overlooking. He's being your eyes before your eyes catch it. So I definitely feel like you have a, I'm just going to say bird because of wings, but I feel like you have, I think it's a hawk or an eagle, as a guide, as an animal guide, because that's just what I keep seeing. I keep seeing like a bird flying over me, but they just hover. They're very quiet. It's masculine energy. I feel like you have other guides, but they're almost like transparent. And to me, like I'm experiencing them behind me, but I feel like they're transparent as in they have not stepped forward for you yet. Okay. And I feel like it's because they don't need to yet. But I guarantee you, once that you open this door to a new trade, a new course of study, like we were talking about, your guides are going to start coming through. I feel like they're going to start filling up with color. Because right now I just see them kind of like pencil sketches behind me. They're not ready yet. They're not meant to come forward for you yet. I want to say that your spiritual journey, as long as you've been on it, it still feels so new. I feel like your soul is so fresh. Okay. And I feel like, oh, here's your owl again. See the bird? I feel like your soul is fresh. Like I've read for clients where I feel like their soul is so old and they have so many guides, but yours is fresh. Like you still have guides who have yet to come through for you. And I feel like your soul is so new and fresh in this world, that, you know, your spiritual journey is young. Even if you've been on it for years, it's still young compared to like other people I've read for. So the fact that the owl card is coming up, let that be a sign. One, that you have animals, birds around you. Okay, so I'm going to take that as a sign, as like maybe you see birds all the time, or when you're stressed out or you're like emotionally, you know, falling apart, maybe you notice birds around you, or they're calming to you, or you see feathers all the time. Birds are there. The other thing is with the owl, like I said, the knowledge. The owl is like, he's urging you to fulfill your knowledge. If there's something you're curious about that you want to learn more of, don't be afraid to dabble. I feel like that's also necessary to say. Don't be afraid to dabble in the unknown. That's like the second time he came up for you. I'm going to pull from my Rider-Waite. Because this is, like I said, this is just advice cards. These two want to come out. Queen of Wands, Eight of Pentacles. Queen of Wands is saying you got to find your passion. Eight of Pentacles is saying, and work your ass off for it, okay? You got to find what you are passionate about. Find what fuels your interest, what gets you going. And then you work your ass off for it. You study it. There is going to be something popping up in your life that is going to blow you away. You are going to find an interest in it. And I'll use myself as an example. When I discovered tarot, I studied it for 1.5 years. I read books. I practiced readings on people. And I got into it and I love it. And it just became me. So I feel like something like that is going to happen to you if it hasn't already started. Don't be afraid of the unknown. I feel like that's a message from Spirit. Do not be afraid of the unknown. I apologize that your spirit messages are coming in later. Here's the Sun card. This is child. Oh, your spirit guide just said childhood memories, childhood experiences or interest. I feel like your spirit guide wants you to look into your past as a child. What was interesting to you? What things did you think were weird, or maybe other people told you it was weird, but it was an interest to you? Those are the studies that you need to look into. That's what your spirit guide said. Like I was saying, I apologize that your spirit guide messages are coming late, because usually like I get them right away for clients. But I feel like for you, they're coming in later. Like I said, your soul is young. It's either young. And I feel like I keep reaching for my amethyst, because amethyst is really good for your psychic connections. And I feel like for you, like I need that more, because your messages are so faint. I just get the feeling that your soul is young and your guides don't know how to come through strong, if that makes sense. But their messages they've been coming through now, but I feel like that's the gist of it. So I'm really curious to see if you resonate with birds. I'm really curious to see what pops up in your mind as you see the Sun card. You know, as a child, what do you think about? What kind of interest did you once have as a child? That kind of thing. And of course, people are riding around. have like a whole desert on the other side of my house. Literally, like there's no buildings or anything. So people like to ride their dirt bikes. And it's a little annoying, but you know, whatever. One final message for you. Zen garden, inner sanctuary. Ooh, with the earth energy, with the Queen of Wands, are you passionate of gardening? Are you passionate of maybe re-landscaping your backyard? I actually want to do a Zen garden in my backyard. So I love this for you. This is creating your sanctuary in your home. So maybe you're going to go through, you know, cleaning out house. Maybe you're going to be going through creating a sanctuary in your home, a place for you to connect to spirit. And maybe they're urging you to do a Zen garden. Or looking into that. So there's a lot of synchronicities I feel are going to be popping up for you from this reading. I feel like there's going to be so much more connection that you're going to make on a personal level, which is why I encourage you to get a notebook and a pen and take notes on your reading. So if you rewatch this video, write stuff down, write things that popped into your head as I was reading for you, write down the messages that I said for you. Everything will start to connect. If it doesn't connect right now, chances are, give it a few days to a month or so, things will start to connect the further along you go in your journey. But like I said, my love, a very young soul, a beautiful soul. I feel like birds are big, but knowledge, they're urging you to feed your knowledge. And then it's like, see what happens next. So with that, my love, this is your spirit guide reading. Thank you so much for allowing me to connect with you. I hope to connect with you again in the future, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, love.